Justin Tomlins.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And I just wish to make a brief contribution building on I was a member of the Bill Committee, and it was a very constructive Bill Committee with much cross-party support, both with a Minister who has a real passion and a real depth of knowledge in this area, and actually well supported by a Shadow Minister who also demonstrated a genuine interest in this particular area. And I just want to focus on one specific area which the Shadow Minister raises in his desire to promote the equality of opportunity. And for me, that also includes those with a disability, specifically those with a learning disability, where this government has made great progress in helping more disabled people into work, something like 600,000 more disabled people in work in the last 3 years, which is fantastic. However, those with a learning disability still continue to find it extremely difficult to benefit from the opportunities of work. It's about 6%. That has been the figure, yes.
I thank my old friend for giving way and commend him for his work in his time as the Disabilities Minister. But does he agree with me that we need to help the employers, because to deal with people with learning difficulties or mental health issues, as we've heard the Prime Minister talk about today, requires a lot of support for the employer as well as the person taking the apprenticeship?
I thank my honourable friend for that intervention. Absolutely, and that comes to the heart of the points I'm going to make, because it is both it takes time for people to develop the skills, and also it gives an opportunity for the employers to be able to provide the suitable opportunity for the individual with a learning disability. Now, all governments of all generations have tried their best to give people with a learning disability an opportunity, and it's stayed rigidly at around about 6%. It is the worst percentage of any disability, and it therefore presents us with the largest challenge. But when I was the Minister for Disabled People, I went on a visit to Fox's Hotel in Bridgwater, and I was incredibly impressed by the fact that they managed to get 80% of their young students into work. It was a 3-year course, 2 years inside a working hotel where they learnt to have independent living skills, and also to work towards having a job once they finished. And within that working hotel, they were learning the skills that were needed for their local town, which was hotels, restaurants, care homes. Now, in all of our own individual constituencies, we've got our own skills gaps, and so you would adapt it accordingly. For the final year, they spent the year continuing their learning directly in the workplace. So my honourable friend for High Peak highlights the importance for employers. It gave the employers an opportunity to have support, so Fox's Academy would come along and help provide some of the training, provide some of the advice both to the employer and to the staff that they would be working with. It gave the young lad or lady the opportunity to learn those skills patiently over a year. And to me, it was an apprenticeship. They were learning skills on the job. And I invited the team back into my department to talk to me, and I said, well, this is amazing. Why can't we increase numbers? And she said, well, we could increase numbers, but that final year is so expensive because we have to go in and support the employer and do that training, that we have to cap the numbers. And so to me, it seemed that if we could just rebadge this as an apprenticeship, we could access the apprenticeship funding, which is being created through the apprenticeship levy, and we would be able to create a huge number of additional opportunities. I met with the then Biz Minister. He agreed. We set up the Maynard review, and I'm delighted that the government has accepted every single one of those recommendations. And I want to pay tribute to both MenCap and Scope for their huge amounts of proactive work that they did as part of that review to help shape some real tangible opportunities. And I know from speaking personally to the Minister that he's really passionate to see that through. And we did touch on this in the Bill Committee, but I just want to urge the Minister to crack on with those pilots, make it a real opportunity, because every young adult will seize that opportunity if they are given. And these are the people who, having met with hundreds of young adults with a learning disability, they are desperate to be given that opportunity. And I want to see those pilots start, and I would just urge that the Minister continues to make this a priority, and in his summing up explains where we are with that, what is the timetable, and what more all of we can do to raise this with local employers.